We can do whatever.
Hello!
Oh, we're live. Hi!
Yeah, we're live! Took you live with no warning. Thinking, let's go. All right. So, last night or this morning or this afternoon or whatever time it is for you, pods and lists and whatever.
Live for the Warhammer World Championships in Atlanta.
So if most of the good players in the world are going to the World Championships, they're all taking different lists and they all just went live.
This, Jack, is by far the most cutthroat event I've ever been to in my entire life.
Yes.
It's going to be really hard.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be a bit on the tough side.
Yes.
So the way the World Championship works is that there are 8 pods.
Yep.
Okay? And in each pod are 22 people?
22 people, yep.
22 people. And one person gets to leave each pod. One.
One man standing.
One person gets to leave each pod. And that's pretty dope.
Yep.
It's going to be very tough.
If you survive your pod, then you get to go in a bracket of the other 8 people that survived their pod, and you play 6 more games of Warhammer.
Yeah, and then you win. It's easy. There's 180 people or something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. So we're here to go over pods and talk about some lists a little bit and just say what's on our minds. Talk with chat, Adaptive subroutine says member for 33 months. Group 8 seems super easy. Have fun, Q. Yeah, Group 8's fine. Group 8, I mean, thanks for spoiling it, but, Group 8 seems fine.
Oh, hey, Kit Smith Hanna, we're going to be talking about you.
Yeah. Yeah, well, none of the pods are, easy.
I have chosen Death by Liam's.
Yes, you're getting double Liam's.
Double Liam.
You're getting the full Liam and nothing but the Liam.
Yes, I have merely the Australian WTC captain and the previous winner of LGT in my pod.
Easy.
No.
Both of them named Liam.
Both of them named Liam.
Both of them named Liam.
Okay, well.
All right, so let's get into the pods real fast. So this is Group 1.
Mm-hmm. I have a very quick thing to say before we begin.
Yes.
These graphics are courtesy of Curie on StatCheck. They are a wonderful organization that tracks win rates and win percentages, and they're working on developing a player elo system. So if you have any curiosity about that, you should head over to statcheck40k.com. Google StatCheck40k, it's the first one that pops up.
Yeah.
I flagrantly stole these from him this morning because I was too lazy to go through and type out all 200 and something or 180 something players. So thank you for StatCheck for letting us use these graphics.
Yes. So this is pod 1. There are 8 pods. So this one is the one that John is in.
Yes.
Yes.
This is the pod that somehow got all of the Tyranids and all the Drukhari, all of the there's one of this player are in this pod.
Yes. Yeah. Eldari, Drukhari, and Deathwatch. All of those are in this pod.
Not Eldari. Tyranids, Drukhari, and Deathwatch are all in pod 1.
There's actually only, 2 Eldar?
There's 2 Eldar in this pod.
2 Eldar. One of them is Josh Roberts, which is not, the easiest of times.
Yeah.
But nobody in this is going to be super easy.
Yes.
So we got Innes, and he's on Blood Angels, which is the same, I think, point-for-point list that Nassim is running in pod 2. So
Innes, if you don't know, is the Scottish WTC captain.
Yep.
So incredible player. He and I had an awesome game at the last War Masters.
And Nas is in chat. And somehow Naz actually conned Innes into playing this Blood Angel army.
Wow.
It's great.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Can we just read this army?
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, Jack and I just did a tier list on this channel a couple of days ago where we called the Stormhawk Interceptor Stop It's Already Dead. That was the tier we put it in. We said it was an F tier unit that is garbage.
And Naz, who does watch our content, has decided anyway to include it two of them in his list, and then title his list "Stop It's Already Dead" or something like that.
So you know what I think? So there's either we were right, or these Stormhawk Intercessors are piloted by Morvenn Vahl.
Yeah, I mean, what's more likely is we're both wrong in some respects. Instead of "Stop It's Already Dead," it gets to go in like C tier instead of D tier, and Naz will come up to me on. Actually, he'll never admit this, but I'll get the story out of him later.
Yeah.
That maybe it wasn't the best call. What do you think, Naz? Do you think that's how it's gonna go? We'll see. So let's talk about this list. This list is wild.
List is wild. It's got Lamartes, the Sanguinor, and a Tech Breed. Okay, then the Blood Angels, and Ironstorm.
Yep.
Then there's 2 Ball Predators, 10 Death Company and Jetpacks, 1, 2, 3 Inceptor squads, a Scout squad, 2 Stormhawk Interceptors, 3 Whirlwinds.
3 Whirlwinds.
So this list...
So he's got a shooting castle that, because it's Naz, is probably also running at you, if I had to guess.
This list does not care about line of sight whatever, because the planes have old towering still. The Whirlwinds shoot you with indirect.
And he has 9 Inceptors, 3x3. I think, 1 Assault Bolter, 2 units of Plasma, but I don't particularly care if it's the other way around.
I have a confession to make.
Yeah?
I actually really like this list.
Yeah?
This list said, hey, Eldar, here's a giant target right on your forehead. So this actually thought that I had
Apparently it's targeting CSM? I don't get it. I don't know how that's happening.
So the Stormhawk Interceptor gets +1 to hit against fly.
Right.
So it can show up and then shoot into flying vehicles like Night Spinners and kill them pretty well.
Yeah, Night Spinners are hard to hide from old towers.
Yeah, because they're really big.
Now, planes do have to show up within 6 of the edge.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't hover these. Stormhawk Interceptors do not have hover. We double-checked the book.
They don't have
During our tier list, somebody was like, they have hover. And I was like, I assure you, it does not.
Yeah. Anyway, so I was actually looking at taking 2 Crimson Hunters for a while.
Why was that?
So the Crimson Hunter is really similar. Have +1 to hit and wound against fly. And like, it's very swingy, but on average, 1 Crimson Hunter shoots and kills a Night Spinner. So my plan was for the Eldar Mirror, I was going to have 2 Crimson Hunters that were going to show up and blow up 2 Night Spinners. And then Eldar don't actually have a lot of long-range guns, right? A lot of people are cutting their Fire Prisms, they're cutting their Warwalkers, they're cutting Hornets, things like that at Bright Lances. So shooting back at planes is actually kind of annoying.
Yeah. So here's the actual lowdown. Naz and I like to talk a lot of nonsense at each other. It's a lot of fun. Naz is great. Innes is great. They're both really good players. Naz, cover your ears, please. Please, he can't hear this. They're both really good players. If they are both on this list, it is doing something strong. But also, I will never admit that, ever. At all.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah. I think the first thing that we really should mention, right, like right off the rip, is that every single player here is an excellent player, and basically I didn't see a bad list looking through them.
Well, I mean, we're
talking
other than
the one.
Other than this one.
So when we say like, oh, easy pod or difficult pod, we're talking on a very relative scale here, where like this group, like this I think is probably one of the easier pods.
I think so.
And it's still probably like, this would be like the most difficult GT ever.
Yes.
Right? So there's no...
I mean, the reason we're only talking about like which pod is the hardest is because Quentin is in the Hell Pod.
The Hell Pod from Death.
The Hell Pod.
No, so like there's not going to be a single person in this tournament who, if they win their pod, did not absolutely deserve it.
Yes.
So John, for those of you who are wondering, because we can talk about lists now, is running an Ultramarines Vanguard.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a very good list.
It really
I think
is.
you've seen it. I think he's played on stream a couple times or something very close.
I think if the games have not gone live yet.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, they might, I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So he's got an Apothecary Biologus, Marnie's Calgar, and Uriel Ventress, a squad of 6 Aggressors, a squad of 6 Centurions, a squad of Company Heroes. We're taking the Company Heroes, putting our money where our mouth is. An Eradicator squad, 3 Inceptor squads, 2 6-man with Plasma, 1 3-man with Bolt, 3 Scout squads, and a Calidus Assassin.
Yep. It's a very good, very mobile, has good shooting.
Yeah.
I quite like it.
This list teleports around a lot and shoots you harder than you think. It's very, very good. I tested it against it a lot to help get him ready for this event.
Yep. And we got Innes on the Blood Angel nonsense. Oh, also the Blood Angel list has 10 guys with Lamarties that are -1 damage.
And hit really hard.
And hit quite hard.
The list is not like... It works. Like conceptually, it's kind of vague, but once you see it in practice, it actually works quite well.
Well, I played against it one time in practice, and John did not run at me, which I assume Naz is going to do. Naz is just going to be like, all right, I started my Whirlwinds on the line, and they're on the objectives turn 1. I guarantee you that's what this boy's doing. And he's going to come back to... God, what Naz loves more than anything else is to show up half an hour into the round and be like, oh, my game's done. How's your game going? I'm like, ugh.
He and I do both do that.
Yeah, well, you're playing Eldar.
Okay.
So he's going to have a lot of fun just like deploying his whole army on the line and running at people.
Also in Pod 1, shout out to Kasser Hushadar, member of Art of War.
Yep. We've got Kit Smith-Hanna, who is in the war room and is in chat right now. Very
Matt
solid.
Laura, who beat me at LVO in the Shadow Round a couple years ago. Excellent player.
Josh Roberts, captain of Team England, as of like I think he was last year?
I think so, yeah.
We'll see. We got Colin Watson. I mean, we have a lot of people.
Yeah.
We can't call out everybody because there's a million people in every pod.
If we call out everyone we knew was an amazing player, we would sit here and read 22 names for each group.
Yeah.
Like.
So, and I don't want to name off names and then have people go, well, you didn't name my name.
Yeah.
I don't want to have it be like a you know, an insulting by leaving them out. So
yeah, I just shouted out Cass because he's on our.
Yeah, Cass is dope. Yes. Cass is awesome. He's in here. His army is beautiful, and I think he's running a Vanguard.
I can find out for you.
Yeah, I could be wrong. I looked over it, but I've also looked over 70 armies today.
Yeah, we read like all of these this morning. Castor Hushidar, he is running Ultramarines Gladius.
Gladius!
Also is Marnius Calgar, bunch of Inceptors, Aggressors. There's 3 Redemptors, 2 Whirlwinds.
Only 2 Eldar. Josh Roberts is on basically the standard stuff. No Farseer, triple Night Spinner, Incarn, 10 Wraithguard, if I remember correctly.
That is something I've been seeing a lot of European players do, dropping the Farseers. And at first I was like, what are you doing? Why are you dropping your Farseers? And it actually occurred to me, and I think it actually makes a lot of sense. And the reason you're going to see it a lot if you look at these lists is because Farseers are actually quite bad in the mirror. Because they're incredibly vulnerable to Night Spinners. And a lot of Eldar players are running 3 Night Spinners. And it's something that I actually kind of wish I'd considered doing or did in my list, because my list has 2 Farseers.
You did think about it, and then you decided
I did think about it, and I ended up thinking not doing it. Simply for the reason that because I think, and I might be wrong on this, but in my opinion, it compromises your other matchups too much, right?
Yeah.
I think Farseers are amazing auto-includes in every other matchup, and are bad in the Eldar matchup. But they're not that bad because you still get them. You still get the flipping on 6s. You still have more reliability with your fate dice. Their buffs are still pretty good if you go first. And moreover, they actually shoot kind of hard. So it's not as though you get like 1 Farseer or 100 things. It's like a Farseer, a unit of Hawks, and so I ended up settling on 2 Farseers.
Yeah.
But for those of you wondering why Eldar players might not be running Farseers, that's the reason.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I know I'm excited to play into lists that don't have Farseers in them.
Yeah.
All right, Group 2. This is my group.
Woo, Group 2.
All right, we got Nassim, as I said, so he's on the Blood Angels, doing the Blood Angel-y thing. And you cannot play someone from your own country round 1.
Yeah, so you're going to play someone... Basically what they did was these are randomly divided, I believe. And then they're talking about... The plan is that you can't play someone from your own country. So if you're from the U.S., you're not playing someone from the U.S., from Canada.
Round 1.
Round 1.
Round 2, you totally can.
Yeah. And then your overall score will go towards like your country score, and there's going to be like country-based awards at the end.
Oh, that'd be dope.
Yeah.
That'd be dope. Mm-hmm. All right, so this pod, Richard's in this pod. He is down in 16th seed from the ELO, which is completely ridiculous. Some of these ELO scores are not...
I got these straight from StatCheck because I didn't have time to grab everything. But this is ELO. It is one method of tracking player ability. It's not a perfect method by any means. Things like ITC rankings also have an issue. A lot of really good players don't go to a lot of events, or they don't go to events that are report ELO to StatCheck, or that. So I wouldn't take these rankings to be by any means definitive. If you're a little low,
for example, I'm going to turn Nassim inside out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's ranked above me. What is that? Again, Naz is in the chat, and I want to stress that he likes this. He likes this talk. It's weird. I don't get it. But,
Jack, why don't you go ahead and talk about your list now?
Yep. So, Nassim is running exactly the same list that Innes is. He copied Innes' list point for point. So that's interesting. Then we have... So these ELO rankings are from the last, I want to say 2 years, or 2.5, 3 even. They're from the last while, but he has not played a lot of games total, which means that he has not actually... You need a lot of games to get your score up to where it should be.
Basically, every game you win adds a couple points. So if you do really well, but only play 10 games, you get a lot of points for those 10 games, but not like a ton of points.
Yeah.
So...
Naz saying I'm giving a lot of talks. I'm scared of the Flyers. I'm scared I don't know what they do, and they're going to randomly be good.
At least your impulsors don't fly.
Thank God for that.
Why don't you go ahead, talk about your list, Jack?
Yep. So I'm playing Black Templars, and I came up with this list at 2 in the morning. So I was in a list spiral a little bit. I had like 5 armies I was like somewhat excited to play.
So think about Jack. You don't know this if you're not in the house. Pretty much daily, Jack will come into the center, into like the kind of center room of the stream house, and will be like, I am playing this faction. And he'll be like, this is the best faction, I love it, heart and soul, and he'll like set down the army, because he'll have it all built or whatever, and he'll like start building and painting. And then like the next day he'll come and be like, I lied to you guys. This is my true favorite faction.
That's a bit of an exaggeration.
It's not that much of an exaggeration.
But then what happened was I was saved. So I was list spiraling. I had like 5 lists. I was like sort of excited. I sort of liked a bunch of different lists. I kind of liked Orcs. I kind of liked Grey Knights. I kind of liked a bunch of different ideas,
Sisters,
right?
actually.
Sisters, Vanguard. There were a bunch of options. World Eaters.
You looked at Eldar longingly.
I certainly did not. Please. If I was going to look at anything longingly, it would be CSM, which kind of gets us to where we are now. And then also Votann. I actually like straight up thought about asking Richard for if I could borrow his Votann. But I woke up literally at 2 a.m. on like a Monday or a Tuesday or whatever last week.
I got text messages. I woke up and I had text messages from Jack at like 2 a.m.
Yeah. And literally I just had the list in my head.
Yeah.
At 2 a.m. I woke up with it and I was just wide awake and I put my list down in the app for the next 4 hours I worked on it. Because I put it in kind of a rough version, very close to where it is now actually. And then I tried to go back to sleep and I just flat out was not even close to able to go to sleep.
Do you know what it reminds me of?
And so for the next 4.5 hours, I was awake, working on the list, thinking about the list, working on the list, thinking about the list, then I went to sleep.
So, one thing I think is kind of reminds me of have you seen, there was a documentary my family used to a while ago called Jiro Dreams and Sushi. And it's about this like Michelin star winning sushi chef, who like will wake up with like dreams of like new sushi pieces and they're like his best. It's like that.
Yeah.
You woke up with dreams of Black Templars.
Yep. It was on the 29th, so it was a Sunday.
Yep.
It was a Sunday morning, specifically.
Chat, these lists are in BCP.
So that is the background. I literally just woke up at 2 a.m. with the list concept in my head, and I just got it down on paper. For the next 4.5 hours, then I slept until like 12. So what is the list? So the list came around because I looked at CSM, looked at Chosen, went, wow, those are pretty good. You know what's kind of like Chosen?
Sword Brethren.
Sword Brethren. And that's where the idea came from. So how can I give Sword Brethren Advance in Charge? We can give Advance in Charge in a Gladius, and you can put a character in the unit, and you can... Oh yeah, I'm the Emperor's Champion! I got visions before on the eve of battle. Oh, yes. So anyway, you take 5 Sword Brethren, you put it in an Impulsor, you attach a character. I have 2 captains, and I have Helbrecht. So each of the captains will get +1 damage from the Sword Brethren, and they have a Power Fist, and once a game they go Finest Hour, and all of a sudden they're attacking with a lot of attacks at very high strength, at high damage, with devastating wounds, and then I do the Gladius strat for Lance and +1 AP, and they're advancing charging out of these transports. And they legitimately hit hard enough to level basically anything.
You and I actually played a game that's going to be coming out in the Orin pretty soon.
Yeah.
With your list.
Yeah. So they hit insanely hard. The unit hits insanely hard. You have access to advance and charge out of the Rhinos. You have access to fight on death. Like, the guy with Honor Vehement hits with 10 attacks at strength 10, AP 3, damage 3, +1 to wound on the charge, devastating wounds, hitting on 2s on the turn that he pops the buffs, which is not hard to engineer. And so you hit very, very hard with these units, and you have access to fight on death. So this is basically like a better Chosen unit in my mind.
Yeah.
A little bit more expensive, but not by that much, and they hit very, very hard, and you're in Impulsors, which are a little bit better than Rhinos, which is great. Then because you're a Gladius, you can get the Super Aggressor Bomb in a Redeemer that shoots super hard, and you're in a Redeemer, and then I just round out the list with a series of the best Space Marine units I have access to. I have access to 3 units of Scouts, 2 Inceptors, one with Plasma, one with Bolters, and a unit of Eradicators. So you get a decent amount of stuff.
Really do.
Helbrecht is in the list. He hits very, very hard with the Sword Brethren. 2 captains each hit very, very hard with the Sword Brethren. So the damage that this army can put out is bananas.
It hits so hard.
And it advances and charges, or advances and shoots, or fallback shoots and charges. Anything I want, really.
Yeah.
And so I'm a huge fan of the list. I think it's very, very good. And I think the vision that I received from the Emperor will carry me to victory.
Let's hope.
Let's hope. So that's me. That's Nassim. We got other strong players in here. We got Jokel Johansson, who is from Team Iceland WTC. He's playing pretty good Eldar list. We got Francois, who is playing a Blood Angels list. I think he's playing a Firestorm. It's pretty good.
There's the other Quinton.
The other Quinton. We've got Matthias Bellman from Team Germany WTC, also playing Eldar. There's a lot of Eldar in our pod. We've got Mate, who is playing his AdMech. He did a recent podcast with Nick. So this pod is actually pretty damn tough. We've got Kyle McCord, who is running the exact same list as me. We're list brothers. Brothers until the end.
Until one of you has to end the
Until
other.
one of us has to end the other. And then finally, we've got Richard. So Richard's all the way down there. So yeah.
Should we go ahead and read Richard's talent list out?
We absolutely can.
Okay, give me...
So Mario, the way you make him Devastating Wounds is Finest Hour off a Captain, gives him +3 attacks and Devastating Wounds once a game. Now something to note is every single buff, the +1 damage, the +3 attacks, Dev Wounds, all of that applies at the start of the fight phase, which means if your opponent charges you, you can use all the buffs and then fight on death with full buffs, unlike CSM, where they fight on death on a 4+ and don't get any buffs. So the difference between the fight on death from Chosen and the fight on death from Sword Brethren plus a Captain is huge.
One really cool thing about this event that I really like is the fact that it's incredibly diverse in terms of which country people are from. Like we're talking about a lot of WC players. If you don't know, it's the World Team Championship that happens every August in Europe. We went there last year, and you the year before. But just like you can look and see all the countries, there's a wide variety of countries here.
Yep.
It's actually less than 50% Americans.
So the one country that isn't that well represented is actually Poland. The fight on death is not a battle tactic. I really wish it were. But you just have to spend the 2 CP and be satisfied that the unit overkills a unit of 10 guys plus a lord.
Yeah.
You'll just have to be okay with that, which personally I am. So Poland is not that well represented. We'll get to Group 8, which I believe has their only representative of Team Poland.
Yeah.
But Leshu slams. So he will be doing a very good job representing his country. But I wish the rest of Team Poland came over because those guys are awesome. And also they are very, very good.
Yeah. Okay,
we actually drew them last year.
WTC.
Last year WTC.
Okay,
we were their only draw. We were their only non-victory.
This is Richard's list. Aunva's Holy Ghost come back to haunt you.
Oh, yeah.
He's running Tau. He's got Aunva on a commander in a Cold Star with Exemplar the Cao Yang. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Breacher teams. 1, 2, 3, 4 Devilfish, a unit of 2 broadsides with railguns and plasma. A unit of 6 Crisis Suits with a bunch of Cyclic and Fusion mixed.
Yep.
Then he's got a unit of 3 with mixed Cyclic and Fusion. Then he's got a Pathfinder team, another Pathfinder team, and 4 Tetras.
Yeah.
This list is...
A lot of stuff.
So much stuff.
It's so much stuff. It's
So
also a
much stuff.
lot of pain if you get close to the crisis unit. It does a ton of damage.
It shoots less hard than other Tau lists, but the Breachers are actually really awesome. And you guys, this has so much mission play, so much move blocking. It's very Richard.
One way to overwhelm Eldar is to just have too many units.
Yeah.
So I'm going the route of having too many threats. So every one of my units is very, very scary, and Quentin can't answer all of them. Richard is going, I have too many units. So he has more units than I do, but they're not all as threatening as mine. But he just has so many more. And he has the Crisis Suit unit to keep your Wraithguard at home.
Yeah.
Which is the idea. Because your Wraithguard cannot take a Crisis unit to the face.
No, definitely.
So the Crisis Suits push out, threaten to shoot the Wraithguard Phantasm, the Crisis Suits shoot something else and fire and fade back. Which is very, very strong.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, Poland had to stay home. I didn't have to. I think they all had tickets, but it is very expensive to get from there to here. And also, I've talked to some of their guys, and they're just not that interested in the meta right now outside of teams.
Yeah.
They're a big teams team. But I'm very happy that Leshu at least is coming over. I think that's going to be sick.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I was hoping Ghetto would come as well, but he wasn't excited.
You want to go ahead and move over to Pod 3?
Absolutely. I'm very excited for my group too. I think it's going to be a great time. If I have to play Kyle in the saddest mirror match of all time, one of us will put the other down. It'll be sad. I mean, if I play Nassim, that'll just be an awesome time. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm going to concede to my opponent and be like, I'm going to go watch Jack into seeing.
We are going to talk so much nonsense at each other. It's going to be great.
Yes.
That game is going to be iconic. I think it's great. Me into Richard, Naz into Richard, I think are both very interesting games.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't like to play Richard until the end of groups, but, you know, I'll play him when I play him. And then, yeah, some of the European players, quite solid. Francois is pretty good. Yeah, have nothing bad to say here. There's somebody in chat who said they were in the group, but he was unfortunately using a
name that is not
that is not in here. So I don't know who he is. But
are we gonna do super chats at the end?
We can actually just do them right now.
Let's do it now.
So Jonathan Haynes, $2 Canadian super chat. Black Templars Crusade, go Jack.
Yeah.
As I said, I've received.
You are Holy Visions of the Emperor.
I've received a Holy Vision from the Emperor.
All right.
And now I must pursue my calling. I put on the Emperor's Champion's armor, whatever it's called, and I take up the black sword.
Gonna hit people.
All right, we've got George Hutley. Did the World Championships make a ruling for Space Marine leaders as no FAQ has addressed it? If not, this must hurt Blood Angels. Good luck.
I don't believe so.
I don't think they have.
No.
I don't think they have.
Sad.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
I mean, I really want, like, Azrael and whatnot to be able to join Company Heroes, but they so far cannot.
No. All right.
Okay. All right, so next up we've got Group 3. We've got Ben Jurek.
Yep.
Team USA guy. He's awesome. Yeah, he's playing Eldar. He's a great player. We got Spatho.
Yep.
Who's
he just got second place at Cali Cup.
Just got second place at Cali Cup, and he's running his Unforgiven task force. Is he running the same triple?
He might be. Why don't you find out?
Yeah. Spatho, where are you at? Here we go. Is he running triple? He is not. So apparently he was running triple Repulsor Executioner for the terrain format. So he has changed it for the GW terrain set. So he now is still running the Unforgiven, which he really likes, and it has some good strats in there. And he's still running the Hellblaster unit. He's running a bunch of Inceptors, Shocker. He's running 2 Redemptors, 2 units of Scouts, and a Calidus, as well as the Deathwing Command Squad. And yeah, that's just a lot of beef.
Yep.
It's a lot of beef.
Additionally, we got Donald Plummer, who's in the chat right now.
Yep.
Morgan Tippy, a good local friend of mine.
I'm sad we're not in the same pod. We play in
At
every event. I think we played 3 times so far.
Yeah.
Last time we played, we literally just handshook to just both deploy on the line. I got the first turn roll. Let's go.
So one of my favorite 40K memories was at ATC, I think 2 years ago, where I was like fooling around and I was talking to, because I was going.
This is when you were playing.
I was not on Art of War yet, but I was still friends with these guys. So I was talking to Jack and I was like, "Oh, our team's gonna destroy you, ha 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 ha." And so he went, looked at our list, and he was like, "Oh, that's an interesting Necron list that you guys have." And I was talking to Morgan, and Morgan was like, "I will destroy Jack every time." And Jack was like, "I will destroy Morgan every time." And this like feud between them went on for 2 weeks between me. They just would each send me a message, and I would send it back to the other one. It was very funny. But anyway, at the end, I did the pairings and I made them play when our teams paired, and it was the best thing that ever happened.
It was not, because the best thing that ever happened was your game into Nick, where Nick was on triple Tantalus, and Quentin was on Shoot You to Death Tau.
I got 20 owed you guys.
Yeah, so Nick's like, "Oh, I'm going to lose to Tau, because how am I supposed to beat it?" And he tried to deploy in the corners or something. He started pre-sight where his units would go in the corners of the board to try to be out of range.
Yeah.
And then he realized he just couldn't be out of range. You had how many hammerheads?
3.
3. So he couldn't be out of range, couldn't be out of line of sight because the Tantalai are huge-mongous. Also 18 wounds, which back at that point meant that you could see them over terrain.
Yeah.
And they had a sail that was this big.
Uh-huh.
So Nick decided, you know what, screw it. I can't hide if I go second no matter where I go.
You played on
so I'm deploying on the line.
Tantalus has moved 22 inches. He deployed on the line and moved his whole army, every single model in his army, 22 inches directly at me.
They go faster than that, my man. They moved 28.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, or they moved 28.
So
every single one just moved as far forward as it possibly could.
Yeah.
And then immediately all 3 died. Yeah. And then everyone got out of the transports behind line of sight terrain.
And then I died.
And then you died.
So that was that game. Anyway, that's my Morgan spiel. He's fun.
That game was right next to me.
Additionally, Alex McDougall, Art of War player.
But yes, I hope I do get a chance to play Morgan. Those games are always awesome. As I said, our last game, we both just went, screw it, you want to just deploy on the line? And we both did. We just Tau versus World Eaters, just both deployed on the line staring at each other.
And you went first.
I did go first, thank God. That would have been rough.
Alex McDougall, Art of War coach, additionally.
Dukes is great.
Yeah.
Alex McDougall. He's run GSC.
Zlack Onion. There's a flagrant lack of orcs in this. Why are there more people named... I'm sorry. Then there are flash kits. I have no idea. Who knows?
I actually wrote an orc list I thought was really good. It's probably what I would run if I didn't have the vision.
Orcs are pretty good.
Orcs are quite good.
Yeah.
I actually recorded a game into the list Richard submitted with what I think is a very, very good orc list, and that should go up at some point, I think next week.
Yeah.
But it was an excellent game.
Yeah. Also in here, Cameron Pinheiro, member of Team USA.
Yep, absolutely. Very, very good.
So that's...
We got Alejandro Mancuso Serrano, who's Team Spain. And he is on the Blood Angels. And we got Dino on the World Leaders. I believe there are 3 people who are running point for point Anthony Vanella's list, and I believe Dino is one of them.
Alex McDougall, let's find out what list is he running.
He is running GSC.
Yeah, but I mean, like, what exactly?
Good stuff, I'm assuming, because he is very good.
He's got an Abominant, a Nexos, 3 Primuses, and a Saboteur. He's got 1, 2, 3 bomb squads, 1, 2 20-mans, a 10-man of Neophytes, Aberrants, 1 Ridge Runner, and 3 Cyclops Demolition Vehicles.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Group 3 seems pretty decent. Should be pretty interesting to see what comes out of this one.
I'm really curious.
I don't think there's any like front runners here.
No.
But there's several people I could see.
Tons of really good players here.
Yeah.
So it could be any of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Group 4.
Group 4.
All right, we got Manny with his very monodimensional CSM list. He knows what he likes and he's about it.
Cursed Cultists.
There is, so 3 big bricks. It's a very simple list. 3 big bricks of Accursed Cultists.
Yep.
3 Rhinos with 5 Chosen, a Lord, and 5 Legionaries in each.
Yep.
A Forge Fiend, and 3 Nurglings, if I remember correctly. I think that's the whole list.
It's pretty good, though.
It's not bad into, like, Eldar, things like that have trouble killing the...
No, that one also has got a bullseye right on me.
Yeah. A lot of punch, not as much shoot, so that really is an interesting dynamic there, but that should be interesting. I'm excited to see how that one will work out.
Yeah.
Then we got Anthony Vanella, fresh off his win at the Cali Cup, playing his World Eaters.
Werble-Beavers.
It's just a very good pressure army, and I'm sure if they play, it's just going to be sparks.
Yeah.
Like, just 2 armies in melee just going... David Gaylord.
From New Zealand.
Playing the Eldar. Is he running anything weird?
Let's find out. I'm gonna guess Triple Night Spinners, Incarn, No Farseers, that whole thing.
Yeah. I'm gonna guess that there's...
White Leaper, Fugan, Spirit Seer, Incarn. Oh, I was right. 1, 2, 3 Night Spinners, 5 Rangers, 5 Hawks, 5 Spiders, 5 Spiders, 10 Wraithguard.
What did he include to get... What did he leave out to get those extra... Oh, he left out the Farseers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a so far so standard type of list.
He has 2 more trash units than I do, but no Farseers.
There are a lot of Eldar players on a list that is 90% that.
He's
one of them. Quentin's another one.
Turns out that list is just really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the list is really solid. No need to mess with it. We got Gagno. We got Andrew Gagno playing his Tau. He is an incredible player, so one to watch out for. We got Jaime Paris. We've got a Mike Pestilence I saw posting somewhere that he was playing. I think he was in our Discord. He posting that he's playing Anthony's list, and he's looking forward to getting it, getting it going. That should be interesting.
Wow.
So that's a very good pod. To be honest with you,
it's a lot of really good players.
We'll see who
every pod's awesome.
Comes out of it. Yeah, I mean we're just gonna say that every time, right? Group 5. Group 5. We've got Tim Dietlefs
Canadian
on
player.
Eldar.
Yep.
We've got Sasha on his Space Marines. He always runs the weird stuff.
Had an awesome round at Tampa. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got a lot of good players in here. Robert Moreland, Tyler Principio did really good work, I think, recently.
He just got like 2nd place at the fall of Autumn War, Flames of Autumn GT.
I see.
He lost to Mark Hertel in the finals.
Sad.
Yes.
Oh, wait, hold on. Apparently Mike Pestilence is playing my list. Let's see.
Oh.
My World Eaters list. No, it hasn't won an event, only got 2nd, so people, but maybe someone believes in it. Let's take a look. Mike Pestilence. Let me see.
Apparently he started with Anthony's list but wanted to change things around so he wasn't stealing it. So he ended up with your list.
Woo, baby, let's go. There's only so many ways to go.
Yes.
You either take my list or you take Anthony's list, really.
Like, there's a reason why every Eldar player has 3 Night Spinners, and yeah.
Yeah, we got Angron, Invo, Juggernaut Lord, Master of Executions, Jackals, 10 Zerkers, 3 8-bound, 6 Exalted, 3 Exalted, 3 Exalted, 2 Spawn, and a Rhino. Yep, that is point for point my list. Mm-hmm. What is Sasha's playing?
Jaime Paris is also in Group 4.
Yeah, I mentioned
Man, every Group 4 is really stacked.
Group 4 is pretty damn stacked. So Mike Pestilence, come say hi.
You should.
Good luck. All right.
Group 5.
We've got, so Tim Deetlefs, Sasha. What is Sasha playing?
Let's find out.
Robert Moreland, Tyler Principio, Stephen Box, Jeffrey Kolodner, who just won Tampa over our corpses.
Yeah.
Florian Schmidt, great
Sasha
German player.
Has got Solo Lysander, Librarian and Phobos Armor, Impulsor, 5 Assault Intercessor with jump packs.
This is going to be a 1 or 2 of everything list.
Yeah, 3 Centurions, Assault Centurions, 3 Assault Centurions, Eliminators, Eradicators.
Oh, never mind.
Inceptors. 3-man Plasma, 6-man Bolt, 6-man Plasma, 5 Infiltrators, 5 Scouts, Calidus. This is a Firestorm Assault Force.
Okay, that is a very interesting list, and I would expect nothing else out of Sasha, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. So, as far as European players that people in the U.S. might not be aware of, Florian is a very good German player on I believe, their WTC team.
He was there.
Then we've got Wallace O'Donnell, who's not from Europe, but he's pretty good. We got Stefan from Austria. Stefan is very good. Yes. I've played him twice. He is ranked number 16 in this pod, but he should realistically be in the top 3 or 4. So watch out for Stefan. And then there's some other ones in here. I mean, obviously, Stephen Box from across the pond is doing some Black Templar stuff. What's his Templar list?
Let's find out what his Templar list is. And again, just if you don't name everyone here is an incredible player. I cannot stress that enough.
Yes.
Stephen Box has Iron Templars. He has an Iron Storm of Black Templars. Castellan.
Interesting.
Helbrecht, Judiciar, Tech Marine with Target Augury Web, Tech Marine with Omnissiah, Emperor's Champion. Impulsor. Black Templar Gladiator Reaper. Notably, he did not take Black Templar Impulsors.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. If you run out of points, you can cut them. You can cut them down to regular Impulsors.
Gladiator Reaper, Land Raider, regular Land Raider with Glass Cannons.
Okay.
Primaris Sword Brethren.
How 5 mans?
5 mans.
Interesting.
1 Redemptor, Scout, Whirlwind, Calidus.
So he's more beef than I do. I can advance in charge and have combat buffs. It's a very interesting list. I think he could do quite well.
Yeah.
He still has a lot of counterpunch, so it's kind of like the Iron Storm and Blood Angels, where they have Lamarties plus his unit, but instead of that, he's got Sword Brethren, which I think is very strong. And then that all goes in the Land Raider, and the Land Raider shoots, and then it just drops a whole lot of pain right on your doorstep.
So much pain.
Yes, a lot of pain. Oh. So this pod doesn't really have a front runner either. Just a lot of very solid
players. Yeah.
So anyone could make their way out of this.
Absolutely. I would. There's 10 names in here. I wouldn't be surprised if any of them made it.
Yeah. Stefan is the lowest. Is very low rated down here, but he has a very good shot at making it out of this pod.
I wouldn't put a ton of stock in the this player is better than this player by 0.1% or whatever. Don't worry about that. Everyone here is incredible.
Yep. All right, Group 6, otherwise known as Nick's Pod.
Nick's Pod.
So, Nick's Pod has the highest ranked ELO player in it as number 49. If you have paid attention to any of the other ones, that's not the case. Yeah. But ELO also is, sometimes that doesn't tell you the true strength.
Yeah. Nick
Nanavity, he's playing CSM, which is...
just a good CSM list. He's got 4 Niblets and Chosen fill it in.
We've got TJ.
Ty and Jeans.
TJ running the GSC, so he's repping those. I believe he was given that a try at an event recently, he should get some practice with it.
He unfortunately got paired into Infiltrators on Ritual Scrambler fields.
That is bad. That's very bad.
Yeah, so
do not want that.
That ended his event run, but there's not a lot he could have done there.
Well, maybe there's no Infiltrators here. I don't see a lot of Space Marines.
Maybe there's no Ritual Scrambler field with Infiltrators,
So there's a lot of good players here as well. We got Brad Townsend, We got Boris Mishev from England, so that should be a very interesting game if he plays Nick.
Yeah.
I believe he's on a more aggressive variant than Nick is, which should be quite interesting. Going down, we got Chris Haynes, captain of Team Canada, at least last year, maybe this year. You got Brad Weir from Pro Tabletop, so this should be a very interesting. It should be a very interesting pod. I'm excited for this one.
We'll see.
I'm excited for all of them, so I'm just going to say that over and over again. It's going to be tight.
All right, pod number 7.
Pod number 7, we got Arn and Brian Sipe.
And Brian Sipe, right off the jump, 2 excellent players.
Right off the bat, we got Alex Petford, Oliver Smith, and we got some other people in here too who are incredible.
Yeah.
We've got Jeremy from StatCheck. He's in there. We've got, we have some other European players like Olivier Weiss, Taroxer, and pretty decent players from across the pond as well.
Yeah.
Looks like it should be interesting.
Interesting pod.
Brian Sipe on Thousand Suns.
Really surprising to me, actually.
Yeah, very, very interesting.
I would have thought that he would have run Eldar.
Yes. Yes.
We'll see. I wanted to. Is Arn running the Wraithblades? Because he was running that at a recent tournament.
Yeah, see what Arn's doing.
Let's find out. Okay, let's find out if he's running the Thing.
What is Arn on?
The Thing.
Arn is on weird stuff usually.
Autarch, Wayleaper, Fugan, Spirit Seer, Yinkarn. Night Spinner, Night Spinner, Night Spinner, Rangers, Shroudrunners, Hawks, Warwalker, Warwalker, Wraithguard.
Yeah, it's the list.
It's the list, yeah.
It's the list. I mean, it has slightly different list to the other one, but whatever.
Yeah.
Brian is playing a Thousand Suns list that is designed to try to beat Eldar.
Which I think is a good call. You'll notice a lot of really good players list how to target right on Eldar.
Right on Eldar.
Or they're running Eldar.
I have a plan for Eldar. Everyone who's going to this is trying to, in some way, have a decent matchup into Eldar because, you have to. There's a lot of Eldar here, right at the top end. Should be exciting. Yeah. All right, then finally we've got Pod 8, Quentin's pod, and also the Murder Pod.
The hardest one, I think.
This is the hardest one, for sure.
Yeah, wow.
So we've got Ben Sherwin, Steve Trimble, and Steve Trimble, unfortunately, fell foul. They sent out an email ahead of time being like, hey, double check your lists.
Yeah.
Because you will not be allowed to change anything if you submit something with the wrong.
His Forge Fiends have the
jaw.
Yeah.
They have the jaws and the autocannons. Sorry, buddy. Somebody had to fall foul of
he's
that.
in chat.
He's in chat.
Steve, I love you. I hope you get to play.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah. So he's running the 30...
we got his list fixed. Good for him. I'm really glad. It'd be sad.
Yeah, that would have been really, really, really sad if he showed up.
Ectoplasma cannons. Look at that.
There we go.
No
They're
worries.
fixed. They are fixed because there's no possible scenario in which you want the autocannons and the combat weapon that is the weakest combat. You can either have an ectoplasma cannon that is nuts,
or one attack or like string 6.
Yeah, one extra attack and it's like.
Okay. Anyway, so in the Murder Pod,
what
I like to call Death by Liam's.
Yes. So we've got Ben Sherwin on a very aggressive Black Templar Righteous Crusader build. Yep. With the tenor Sword Brethren So I'm going MSU Sword Brethren that advance in charge and try and hit really hard with an attached character. Ben has one 10-man squad that has Helbrecht and a lieutenant.
In a Land Raider.
In a Land Raider with a 5-up Feel No Pain in Righteous Crusaders. This thing will cut literally anything in half.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's bad.
It's bad.
It's bad for you. He's also got a series of very good vehicles backing that up, so that list is very scary. It's also super fun. Then we've got Steve on a very aggressive bent of CSM with 30 chosen in Rhinos with 3 Lords, as great. Well as let's pull it up because I forget exactly how aggressive it went. It's 3 units of 10 chosen, which is the most aggressive that somebody has gone. 2 Forge Fiends, 2x2 a Blitz, and then that is basically it, barring some trash.
Yeah.
But that is about it. Then we've got Liam. We've got you on the list. On the list. I have. Everybody has a slightly different variant.
I have Kane, but not the Incarn.
Kane, not Incarn, 2 Farseer. So I feel like it's better into non-Eldar.
Yes, I agree.
Then we've got Liam VSL, who just won LGT. He's on Death Guard.
Really interesting Death Guard list.
Yep, he titled it Death Guard is a hammer and a meta full of nails, so he is calling his shot right now.
Well, do you know what that's a reference to?
Yes. I mean, it's a reference to
the Reddit post
about Eldar, I think, at the start of the edition.
Drukhari. Yeah.
It was the start of the Drukhari nonsense.
Someone was like, Drukhari are just a hammer and a meta full of nails. They're fine, you guys.
Yeah, and that Warhammer was a nail and they hit it.
Okay, so Liam Vissel has got 1, 2, 3 Putrefiers, 2 Flyblights, 1, 2 Big 10-man Plague Marine squads, 2 5-man Plague Marine squads, 3 Death Guard Rhinos, 3 Plague Burst Crawlers, 2 units of Nurglings, 3 War Dog Bring-ins. List.
Yep. I believe there is nowhere to view the lists outside of BCP.
Yeah, BCP is where you view these.
BCP is where you look at it.
Yep. I think Goonhammer is actually going to be starting an article series about different competitors.
Yes.
So possibly go ahead and check on Goonhammer, see if maybe they have something posted eventually. But as it currently stands, BCP is where we're going to find these.
So Liam was one of the people who did the Chosen Rhino package thing first.
The inventor. Yeah.
And he is the first one off of it for Death Guard, and he's calling his shot, calling it that it is particularly well suited to this meta. So we have to watch that. That list and the Blood Angels Iron Storm, I think, is going to be very interesting.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
We got Fred Otto, who is an incredible player from Germany.
Yep, he is on Eldar.
He is on Eldar.
Yep, Sean Reynolds on Eldar. Is it Schiffer?
I don't know how to pronounce the last name. Valentin is the guy that I played this last round at WTC on Team Germany. He is very strong, and as a player, and he's playing Necrons.
Yep,
which is very good into Eldar at the moment. Mm-hmm. So he's definitely one to watch out for.
Is Colin Power the captain of Team Ireland?
I don't know.
Okay.
You can check. Or actually, you can't check. I can check.
Oh, yeah.
Because...
additionally, while you check that, there's Liam Hackett, who's playing Necrons. He's a renowned Australian Necron player who makes me terrified and tremble at night.
I do not see a Colin Power at WTC. He might be a non-playing captain, but I would not be able to check.
Okay, cool. I think there's a Colin who's on the maybe, I don't know. Then there
we got Liam Hackett on the 40 warrior build.
Double Catan, actually.
Double Catan, 40 warriors, and he is incredibly good. He was, captain of Team Australia?
Yep.
Yeah, he also, I believe, won War Masters the year before last, I want to say.
Something like that, yeah.
I could be wrong, but he is incredible, and he is going to be Scourge of all Eldari.
Yep.
Death by Liam.
There's Mark Perry, who's running CSM, former Art of War coach here. Also, excellent player.
And then the big... So Stefan and Richard and Leshu are probably the most underranked players at this event. So Lukasz, I think that's how it's pronounced.
I think in the chat.
Oh, interesting.
Hi.
Hey.
I welcome you in our sweet embrace of death.
Vice captain.
Vice captain.
Right. Sick. So I don't know how to pronounce his name. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I'm not Polish.
Yeah.
I think it's Lukasz, but I could be wrong.
We're sorry.
What I do know is that he goes by Leshu, because all of the Polish players have a nickname that they go by. Mm-hmm. So you got Skark, you got Duda, but that is actually his name. You got Myson, you got Leshu, you got Gitto, who I played this last year. I actually played Leshu 2 years ago. The year before last. He did beat me. He beat me quite soundly, actually.
This pod is going to be fun, you guys.
Yes. Yes. So Leshu is an incredible player. He's on a Dark Angels Vanguard build. Yep. Mm-hmm. And I expect him to do some very interesting things with like a big unit of Deathwing
that infiltrate.
That infiltrate. Yep. Yeah. What are you going to do about it, huh?
Cry. That's what I'm going to do.
That's what you're going to do. Yeah. That's what I thought.
That's just the answer.
So Leshu, Stefan Pazderka, and Richard Siegler all very underranked for ELO because they just haven't played in a lot of events or haven't played in a lot of events that have used BCP.
Maybe they play a lot of teams, maybe they play a lot of small RTTs, maybe they play a lot of TTS, who knows?
Exactly.
Yeah, so, I mean, every pod is stacked. Maybe I'm a little bit biased, but I personally think that pod 8 is the hardest. There's just a lot of good players.
I think pod 8 is the hardest. There's a lot of world beaters in here. There's like 8 players who are just really, really good in here at least, and that's just off the top of my head. So good luck to you, bud.
Thanks.
Enjoy that one.
I look forward to winning this pod.
Me and Nas are gonna have a fun slap fight in our pod, and you're just gonna have to get liamed.
Well, here's the hope. Liam A.
Or they get Quentin.
Don't count me out, you guys.
I would never.
I'm gonna have shiny blue hair. gonna blind them with its radiance.
That's right. You're gonna lean down over the table, and they're gonna be like, ah.
No one is playing Dark Angels from Art of War, I don't believe.
No, nobody. All the lists are in. I'm playing Black Templar Gladius.
Yes.
You are playing Eldar.
Richard's
Nick is playing CSM. Richard is playing Tau, and John is playing an Ultramarines Vanguard Spearhead.
Yes. And then Anthony Vanilla is playing World Leaders. Alex McDougall is playing GSE. Kasser Hushadar is playing Ultramarines.
I believe he's playing an Ultramarines Vanguard.
He's playing a Gladius.
He's playing Ultramarines Gladius.
And then
that's right.
Andrew Gagno is playing
Tau.
And I believe that's all the other players going.
Tau. I could be wrong.
I'm pretty sure that's it.
But I believe that is it. Mm-hmm. So this event is awesome. This event is awesome. So the person in chat is Noah Bedome. Unfortunately, I do not recognize him based off his handle. So. Yes. Yeah, so that'll be awesome. Yeah, come and say
hi. If I get beat by Jack, is it getting jacked? Yes. Unfortunately, I get beat by Jack quite often. So I was hoping that these noodle arms would be a little bit bigger by now. But they're not. They're noodle arms. Alright. This is going to be a terrifyingly awesome event.
Yep. And the other fun part of it is that there's just a lot of people here that I'm personal friends with. And this event is going to rock.
It's going to be so much fun.
Yes.
I am really glad that I have the absolute honor of getting a golden ticket and going to this.
Yeah, that'll be fun. We actually get to drive. It's only in Atlanta. It's about like a 3.5 hour drive for us.
I'm really excited for that too. Yeah,
that's gonna be sick.
It's gonna pop on over. Gonna be all well rested. I'm gonna look at the Aussies and be like, fly.
Just walk up behind Liam Hackett and just be like, Aussie, Aussie, Aussie.
Yeah. Oi, oi, oi. They're gonna put the next one in like Tokyo or something just to like make it fair.
No, I have to I have a free plane ticket to this event. But a plane would be slower than just driving. Yeah. So I checked. They will not reimburse my gas. Because apparently there's a whole thing you got to go through for that.
Shame.
So sad. Right. But at least free hotel room for LVO.
Yeah. Well, this was a pretty short, pretty impromptu video. If you're coming, please go ahead and come say hi. I'm really excited to see and to meet everyone. One thing I'm actually looking forward to is meeting all the representatives of the countries that I don't really normally get to play against players from.
Yeah, we only see a lot of these players at WTC and LVO maybe.
But even more than that, like I play a ton against American players, Canadian players, players from the UK, from Germany, from France. Like I played against the players. There's people from like China, from Singapore, from a bunch of Central and South American countries. I'm really hoping that I get to play against those people because I want to like experience what the game's like in their culture. See if they maybe down there, over there, up there, they have different styles of strategy. See if there's something I can learn from them.
Yeah, that's going to be great. We do have somebody this is their first tournament in the U.S.
Welcome! I'm so excited.
What pod are you in? What's your name? Strike.
Strike.
And then we have Red Rum with a €5 super chat. Thank you so much. Says good luck to all Art of War team members, but I'm a big Jack fan. Made me stick to the game a couple of times and learn it well. Thank you, Jack. Crush them. Thank you so much. I will do my best. Now I was originally planning on going, maybe mess around and throwing. But now you've given me the energy to go and just rush at people and then kill them or attempt to.
I have no idea. I have not been to Atlanta since I have been legally allowed to drink.
Yeah. There's
an excellent aquarium though.
Yeah, I've seen it.
It's really good.
It's pretty dope.
Yeah.
It's pretty dope. My guess is that there's going to be big, groups of people going, getting food, doing things like that.
One of the really cool things about Warhammer players, I found they're a very a +1s are welcome, and I don't mean that in you can bring your significant other. I mean a big group of us are going. Does anyone else want to tag along?
Yeah.
So if you're here from a country that maybe you don't have representatives, you don't know a bunch of people, then just find maybe an opponent, strike up a conversation, and you should be able to go find people to go get dinner with.
Oh, sweet. So Strike is in Group 6. Yeah, so if you play someone, you don't know anyone here, let's say, you show up. Maybe you are, from Thailand, and you may not know anyone in the U.S. If you play somebody, if that happens, you play somebody, you make friends.
Yep.
Oftentimes, if they're going and doing something, you tag along and you hang out and you have a good time.
And then you have a new friend.
Because that's how everyone becomes friends with anyone, is you play them, now you're friends.
Yeah.
And then you now go out to eat, which I don't know if that's how it is I know that's how it is in Europe and the US because
yeah.
I've played in both those locations. Mm-hmm. But I don't know how it is in other places. I'm assuming kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
40K is more of a social game because you have to be like face to face with somebody for 3 hours and get along.
Now that I'm like thinking about it, I think basically every single person I'd consider a close 40K friend I met over a game of Warhammer.
Yep.
Like
that's
basically
usually how
everyone.
it works.
Yeah.
Like I met John over a game of Warhammer and we didn't know each other.
I met John over Warhammer.
Richard
over
same
Warhammer.
Deal. Yeah.
I met you through John and Richard, but like that's like
then
very close. Yeah. Then we played a game. I got to know you by playing Warhammer with you. All right.
If we're looking at Strike's list, Strike is playing Guard.
Ooh.
I'm not going to try and pronounce your name. I'm sorry. I'm going to butcher it, and it's going to be horrific. Yeah. And I'm sorry. We've got Gaunt's Ghosts, which is very good. Yep. Leontis, Platoon Command Squad to put Leontis in. We got a tank commander with a battle cannon, with a demo cannon. Sorry. That's the good one.
The good one, yeah.
That's the good one. With Grand Strategist, we've got Ursula Creed to give out the free AP improvement, which is quite good. There's almost certainly a mortar in here. There is. You can target a unit with the mortar, get the free strat on them. 2 units Acadians. Quite good. They sticky objectives. I like that. An infantry squad. I forget what they do. 1 Hellhound. Triple Manticore. I'm sorry for your... I'm sorry for your Wraithguard.
My Wraithguard.
Because they will have +1 AP applied to them, and then 3 Manticores that reroll to hit will shoot them.
My Wraithguard.
Yeah, your Wraithguard about to have a bad day. You got Regimental Attaché that probably does something, but I don't know what it does. 12-inch no-go? I'm probably wrong about that.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
And then double Rogue with Dorn. I love Dorns. And 2 Solo Sentinels. So yeah, this list seems really quite good.
Here's the thing about this event, right? Normally, you go to an event, you got your like top performing players, and you're like, those lists are pretty good. Then you got some lists that are okay, and then you got a bunch of people who are like, maybe they're getting into the game, maybe they're out here to have fun time, maybe they're just trying to like test something out, maybe they brought models that get really cool, and maybe their lists aren't super strong. You open any list here, and it's like, wow, that is an excellent list.
That is an excellent
list.
Just
an excellent list.
That's a great list, except for Naz's.
I mean, like, I think that the point here is that basically every single person who is attending this event won a GT to get here.
Yeah. Well, one or best overall, or towards the end of the year, it was fairly common that people would get it because they got it second or third place at an event where the winner already had a golden ticket. But generally, yes, people had to perform to get here.
Yeah, you didn't just. It's an invitational for a reason.
Yes. Yeah. It is not a U.S. Open, so I've heard people calling it the U.S. Open finals or whatever. It's not an open. You cannot just play if you want to. You can play in the narrative if you want, and that is going to rock.
I wish I was playing in the narrative.
Yeah.
I mean, like I'm glad I'm playing in the competitive. I think it's really fun, and I know everyone there, and that's how I like to play the game. But like the way they talk about the narrative, man, I really wish I was there.
The narrative is pretty great.
I could bust out all my fun characters. I could like talk about all of their names and lore and backstory, and no one would make fun of me. It'd be great.
You could be like Jeffrey, where he named all of his units.
I did that for a while. I went to the first Tampa Open, and I gave my opponents a QR code, and if they scanned it, it had like a full page of backstory about each of my HQs. All the squads, it was great. All the squads are named. I actually went harder than Jeffrey. So.
Just for me, Naz? Just for me?
Just for Jeff.
Aw, that is too nice. You shouldn't.
All right.
No, you shouldn't. Whatever. This event's going to be so cool. This is going to
be so fun. If you're there, please come and say hi. I'm really excited to meet everyone. If you're a fan of the channel, especially, come say hello. I love meeting everybody.
Yep, and they're going to broadcast games.
Yeah, they are. Yes. Hopefully some of us are going to be broadcasted.
Yeah.
And as always, please remember to like and subscribe. And if you want to see more of this content, if you'd like to go ahead and check out The War Room, there's a 3-day free trial, and the link down below, that's thewarroom.vhx.tv. We offer a bunch of extra content, including stuff we're going to be talking about, the list that we are running, and battle reports. There's going to be a ton of those on the list that we're running to Atlanta.
All right.
Have an excellent day, and I will see you all later.
Bye-bye.